Okay, others tab, that's where the fun begins, in my opinion. Well, not if you're playing as player 2, because then the selection of things is not very big. But if you go and play as Gaia, you get all the important stuff like resources. That's I know a lot of you guys have been asking, where do I get gold mines and forage bushes and oh my god, I can't find it, please help, and all that stuff. So here it is. You go to the units tab, choose other, and then you go select the player Gaia, and then all this stuff should be here. And yeah, that's yeah, basically it for this tab. Diplomacy. Diplomacy is quite important as well. Let's say we're friends with player one, so we'll set our stance, player one stance, to ally with player two, and we are in war with player three. And yeah, we can say allied victory. It's a good ally we have. And player two's stance against us, which is player one. Should be ally as well. So now we're friends, and they, since they are allies with me, they are also in war with player 3. So we'll just leave it like this, and then we go to player 3, and he should be in war with both of us. So that's all fine. Yeah, that's basically it, and it gets more complicated when there's more players, but it's not that hard. So yeah, okay, move on. Global victory. That tab is used for setting the victory condition. I won't go into details with these. I'll just say what I recommend. I recommend that you choose standard, and then you go make the victory condition in with triggers instead. That's much easier. But well, it's up to you. If you wanna know more about these, I recommend that you read the white text that's up here when you have the mouse over, because that explains it much better than I can do. Okay. Options. This tab is also quite important. Player one, you can choose what player you want to change options for. You can choose whether they should have a full tech tree, which means they have all technologies in the game. Whether they should or should not. And you can test the testing difficulty. You can change that. I usually play on hardest actually, so we'll just leave it there. But now it disappeared. Okay, weird. This set view, it's when you have to uh, choose your starting frame or image or whatever you call it. Like when you start the game, where it should start on the map. If you look here, where it should start, you would probably start it like here. So we go to the options tab and then say set view, and then it should be the first you see. And you can test it by go a little way, and then click go to view, and then voila, it's there. Okay, disable buildings. It's pretty self-explanatory. This is the full list of all buildings in the game for this civilization, I suppose. Oh well, it's never mind. And then you can choose to add it on the disable list, and if it's on, it's not able to be built when you play. And you can do the same with units, and you can delete them from the disable list by clicking the other way, like the other arrow. And you can also do it with technologies. Let's say we take castle age away, so I'm stuck in feudal age. Okay, that's the options tab. Messages, it's pretty much the same if you ask me. Well, it's actually not. Okay, the messages tab. Sorry. It's well, it's when you start the game and you click on the objectives tab. It's like all the information that's going to stand there, like scenario instructions, like it explains what you're supposed to do. Like, it's not your objectives, but it's explaining what the scenario is all about. Hence, if you need help, and that's basically the same with the scout tab. And then there's when you've won the game, you can make it say a message, or you could say a message if you lose, like try again, or something like that. So great. Let's move on. Cinematics. It's well, I've never used it actually, but I know how it's supposed to work. It's like when you play a campaign and you start it, there's always this guy who tells you about this person you're playing as. Like in the Joan of Arc campaign. Oh, never mind, that's a bad example. Okay, the cinematics tab. It's I've never used it actually, but I know how it's supposed to work. You know, when you play a campaign, there's always some pictures before the game and a man who talks a lot about uh, the campaign. Um, and yeah, pre-game, that means before the game starts. That's usually where you get some of the story, and then after you win, you can make a victory cinematic that tells what further happened, or something like that. That's usually how it's used, and you can also do it if you lose. And the scenario instruction map. Uh, yeah, that's the map that appears before campaign, as it says. Okay. Let's go on. Okay, the final tab is the triggers tab. You can it's basically, a triggers make something happen inside the game after you've started it. It's like you can use it for a whole lot of stuff. Like, okay, let's make one quickly. You make a new trigger, and then you can choose whether it should display as an objective or not. You can choose whether it should be on from the beginning or off. It's in the most cases it should only be the first trigger who's on from the beginning, and the rest should be off. But it depends on your scenario. And you can also choose whether it should be looping. It's quite useful for some tricks in this game. I will teach you later on. Yes, you choose a condition, like when something happens. That could be bring object to object, like set this little fellow to be the object, and set next object could be this scorpion, and go to next object. Yeah. Okay. And then the effect of this would be, let's say, just simply declare victory. Okay, I know that probably wouldn't be very useful in a game, but yeah, this is just an example. And then it's a victory for player one. Okay, we can test. Let's
Yay.
go up to the scorpion.
Yay.
You see? And then we win. So yeah, that's basically it. You can do a lot of other things. It doesn't only necessarily have to have one effect. It could be a lot of effects. For instance, to activate another trigger that's with starting state off, so you can make like chain reactions. It's really good for chats. Then it could like activate a trigger with a timer, so it takes 5 seconds before it starts, and then a chat message would appear, like say hello, and there could be a sound file included